Whitney Houston, the voice of a lifetime. The story of Whitney Houston begins on a warm August day in 1963 in Newark, New Jersey, a city where gospel music
That if I don't kick your tail, they're gonna kick your tail out there. So I want you to understand some things before you leave this household.
filled the air and soul poured from every church door. Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born into a family already blessed with music. Her mother, Sissy Houston, sang with gospel legends, while her cousins, Dion and Dee Dee Warwick, were among the leading female voices in America. The Houston home was a place of faith, song, and expectation, a house where music wasn't just heard, it was lived. Even as a child, Whitney's voice was astonishing. By age 11, she was singing in the New Hope Baptist Church choir, her voice clear, powerful, and filled with a maturity beyond her years. When Whitney sang, she didn't just hit notes, she told stories. Every lyric she touched came alive with emotion. Churchgoers would often cry during her solos, sensing something divine in her sound. As a teenager, Whitney dreamed big. She admired her idols Aretha Franklin, Chaka Khan, and her own mother. Yet she also wanted to create her own path, her own light. She began performing with her mother in New York nightclubs, where industry insiders soon noticed the young girl with the angelic yet thunderous voice. Around that time, Whitney also modeled, gracing the covers of 17 and Glamour. But even under the flash of cameras, she longed for a microphone more than a spotlight. In 1983, Clive Davis of Arista Records discovered her while she performed with her mother. The moment he heard her sing, he knew. This was not just another voice. This was the voice, the kind that comes once in a generation. 2 years later, her debut album, Whitney Houston, 1985, was released. It was pure magic. Every song, from Saving All My Love for You to How Will I Know, carried the power of a young woman stepping into her destiny. The album sold millions, earning her Grammy Awards and the adoration of the world. Broke even more records. She became the first female artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Songs like I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me became anthems of joy, freedom, and love. Her voice, stretching effortlessly across octaves, seemed to belong to heaven itself. By the early 1990 seconds, Whitney Houston wasn't just a singer, she was a phenomenon. Every note she sang became a part of pop culture. And then came The Bodyguard, 1992. Her portrayal of Rachel Marin, a superstar hiding behind fame, felt hauntingly close to her real life. The film's soundtrack, especially her rendition of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You, changed music history. The song's quiet, a cappella opening was both fragile and powerful, as if Whitney was baring her soul to the world. It went on to become one of the best-selling singles of all time. Whitney's success seemed limitless. She sang the U.S. national anthem at the 1991 Super Bowl, and it became so iconic that radio stations played it like a pop single. She starred in more films, Waiting to Exhale, 1995, and The Preacher's Wife, 1996, both of which featured her incredible singing and natural charm. To many, Whitney Houston was the definition of grace, talent, and beauty. But behind the stage lights and glamour, a darker story unfolded. Whitney's marriage to singer Bobby Brown was tumultuous. Their love was passionate, but often chaotic. The pressures of fame, personal struggles, and substance abuse began to erode her once flawless image. In interviews, her bright smile dimmed. The woman who once seemed invincible now appeared weary fighting battles the world couldn't see. The 2000s brought a new Whitney, still beloved, but scarred. She tried to reclaim her career, releasing albums like Just Whitney and I, Look to You, where she sang about pain, faith, and redemption. Her voice, though slightly weathered, carried an even deeper emotion. Every note spoke of survival. On the 11th of February 2012, the world was shaken by the news of her passing. Whitney Houston was gone at just 48 years old. The hotel room in Beverly Hills became a place of sorrow, the end of a voice that had once lifted millions. Yet Whitney's spirit never truly left. Her music still fills the air in weddings, on radios, and in the voices of singers she inspired. Artists like Mariah Carey, Beyoncé, and Jennifer Hudson all trace their paths back to Whitney's influence. She remains the voice not just because of her technical mastery, but because of the soul she poured into every performance. When Whitney sang, "I believe the children are our future in greatest love of all," she wasn't just performing a lyric, she was declaring hope. Her life, though filled with triumphs and trials, proved that true greatness is not about perfection, but about leaving behind something eternal. And Whitney did. Her songs still rise like prayer, echoing through generations, powerful, pure, and everlasting. Thank you, my viewer. Feel free to like and comment.